I went out into a forest to hopefully film somebody's pet dog, but all I got was a female cardinal fighting with a sparrow, and then the male cardinal came to save her.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So I got a bunch of slow motion footage, of course, with the Sony A7S III 200 to 600 with the 1.4 times teleconverter. Ends up being like a 920 reach handheld, and I dream of other setups, of course, because I'm a gas-having fat man. OM sushi shirts are now available, of course, down below. Free sushi. So the first shot I wanted to topaz enhance. This is the only shot I enhanced. It was 4K 240 frames per second. This was HD, but I upscaled it to 4K, and this cardinal was like, "What are you doing? This is my food, boy. Don't you know I'm queen here? You want me to peck you? I'm gonna peck your eyes out." And he grabbed his feather. "Oh my god, what the hell was that? What's your problem, man? There's so much for all of us. There's so much food here. Why? You bitch." She was a bitch. That was mean. Topaz is amazing for upscaling already slow HD footage. Not so great for slowing down further. So always film in 240 frames per second. Your camera has that, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. You're not Sony or Fuji or Panasonic or Canon R3. Not many have it. And then the sparrow came back for sweet revenge. He's like, "Okay, she's probably calmed down. She's eaten. She's fat and lazy now. Now's my time. I'm gonna get some food here. I'm starving. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm not just gonna grab one. I know I have time. Nothing's coming from behind. I'm just gonna grab one of these. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad. Sunflower. Wow, thank you for that. Oh God, why? Oh, you asshole. I was so hungry. I needed more for my family. That's not enough. You're not a man just because you're redder than her." It's kind of cool how nature makes the man super bright so he can get a date, and then the woman is like subdued and camouflaged so she'll live long enough to make babies. But not his babies. She rejected him, actually, and he took it pretty hard. He jumped, and they don't survive from that height. They can't fly. It's a lie. So he's gone forever. We're on the Nikon ZF, by the way, 40mm Tony 2, experimenting with different zebra ranges. So like it seems overexposed, but it might not be, and brighter is happier. Now we all know bird feeder footage is cheating. You should be arrested if you have it in your video, and I'll deal with the consequences later, but we actually saw a cardinal in nature, and he looked pretty happy on the surface, and then, oh, no, that was not happiness. He was masking his pain, and he ended it all. Oh, I hate when I catch those on camera, the suicide death jumps by the birds. That's ouch. And this thing, what was that, you ask? A chickadee in 240 frames per second? I love these guys so much. They're so hard to film, and it's so annoying, but you notice how the footage is slightly more stable? It's a Sony crap waving in the wind, but when you're pointed downwards, it actually is quite good. It's when you point up, where all the birds are, ever, that it's like, it's very hard to balance. But this, not bad. Little chickadee 240 action. They're so hard to follow. You want it, it's like, oh, they're gone. Okay, we're gonna get you. I got way better chickadee footage later on in this video. What you just saw was the worst chickadee footage I ever got. Wait till you. I then saw a yellow-breasted, gold-beaked finch lover. I don't know what that is, but every time I used to see a bird, I'd be like going to look it up in my bird book. I'm like, oh, what's that I saw? I don't really care that much. It's just like, I like seeing any bird, and I just try to focus on it and get him in the shot, and will he do something magical? Of course not. It's a Sony camera. He was like, I'm not doing anything. Is that the Fuji? No, it's not. So like, you think I'm gonna just fly around and give you a look and allow God to let light peek through the clouds for a second? No, we're just gonna sit here on the cloudy day. It's Sony footage. You deserve nothing more than this. I even went to another angle to try to pretend that I went to grab a Fuji camera, but he was like, that's still Sony. I can see it. You're further away, but I can still see. Do you have any idea how good my eyesight is? Like, way better than yours. You saw a Sony camera and you bought it. That's how stupid you are. But as the butterfly, red armor, sucks on the dandelion that I was about to eat myself, he flies off in 240 aggressive patterns per second. The butterflies, they go, and they never come back. But the moments we shared with them are all we need to continue on. I saw someone's dog. He's really slow and happy looking. I always feel like a creep when I'm filming someone's dog. And I imagine like, what are you doing? You filming my dog? It's like, he's an animal and I'm a wildlife filmographer. This is what I do for a living. Get your shoes out of my shot. I hope you step in his poo and it never comes out in the little creases. So, my dog was running majestically and he looked like he had rabies. And now we get to the magical chickadee footage I promised you. This little guy, this is why I live. It's for little guys like this that are so happy. They're so happy to be alive. They would never just like end their life on purpose and jump off a cliff and he probably didn't survive that. I'm sorry he was so sad. But thankfully I found another one, and these little glimpses, this is why I want 480 frames per second. It's like, it's almost never slow enough. These little moments, it's like, am I gonna get any of this in focus? Can I follow him? This one, I zoomed out a bit, because sometimes I'm so tight on my shot, it's like, that's the most detail, this is the best. But then I can't follow it, and any little movement, he's just gone out of my life. So you zoom out a bit, okay, we get some context. Why do I have a teleconverter on? It's not helping me very much. But even then, like, he left me, he got right out. It's very hard to track birds, and they fly, and you have to guess. Like, you almost have to have him in the rule of once and then which way. But you see that? He went the other way of what he was facing. So it's like, you can never know what they're gonna do. They misdirect you and they play with your mind on purpose, and it's fun for them. It's like, oh, I bet he's watching me. Where are you gonna go? Okay, looks like I'm going right, left, no, straight. Right here is what I want to improve on. How he jumps, I should be able to follow that movement. Don't leap out of my frame next time. Let me catch up. Do that slower or something. I don't know what the secret is. It's hard to predict what they're gonna do, but I had fun filming this, and he was also lower, and it's somewhat stable. So like, Sony's great for groundhogs and bunnies on the ground. Anything up in the sky though? No, don't do it. I love shots like this where it's like there's a bunch of stuff covering the animal, but there's just enough of him that you can see. It's like, oh wow. And then he's supposed to do something magical, but he didn't. He did nothing. Oh, there it is. No, that's not really magical. You just leapt away from me. You know what's funny? I complain about that Sony being so heavy, and then here I am debating the Nikon 800mm prime, which is heavier. Why would I do that to myself? But it would be so magical and more stable, less slow motion. I'm just waiting for Nikon to do something. This is basically an A7 IV. That's below what I already have. We all know that, right? We could have some nice animal eye detect with Sony. It'll detect the thing sometimes, but like, I have a small box around him. It's not getting him. Not even close. Not getting him. And then eventually it'll catch up and realize that I want to track the thing that's moving. You know that obvious thing in the frame? Yeah, there. That guy. Once he's tall, but how do you keep him in your box? That's the problem. It's like, no, stay. I have a little center box. Stay in the box. Okay, we're good? No? Yes? It's really hard. Whereas if you had animal bird eye detect, it's like, it does that for you, and then you could actually compose in the rule of thirds and like have this meaningful shot like I'm trying to do there, but I have to keep it in the center, and then it's awkward. So like, it would be such a nice thing if I could have good animal eye detect, but I can't. There it is. There we are. Sony caught up. Sony's good times. You know, I did the Sony ZV-E10 animal eye detect. It did nothing. It would not detect anything, ever. You can get pretty good at manually focusing and tracking a bird. Like, that's the ideal way to do it. Just sometimes that's too hard and it's just too annoying. For this shot, I could have definitely done it. It would have been much better, but I panicked. I wasn't ready for it. I think it's just the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. When I'm using the Sony, I'm thinking, oh, 800mm prime, that'd be so much better. And then I'd use that and be like, man, that 200 to 600 Sony is such a nice zoom range and internal zoom. You barely have to move the things and the manual focus was so smooth. Oh, I miss it so much. Sony 240 frames per second. Whatever you have, you could dream of something better, and that's not going to make you a better person, is it? So go out in nature and shoot with what you got. I took the ZV-E10 out with the 1.4 times teleconverter and active stab crop for like, I don't know, 4,500 millimeter reach. Got a whole show on that coming. So you wait hard. I didn't sell it. Why would I sell that thing? Love that gift, Steinbeck. Cherish it forever. I'll switch to it right now. I still have it. What are you talking about? Do you want me to switch to it? I'll just switch. Subscribe for more videos.